afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to do one basic example on the trigonometry and how to solve trigonometric problem questions. Then later on this question, we will see about the general solution and the trig identities as well as trig reduction formulas. So let's start our question first. It's always you must start with the reading. Pay attention to your reading. Mark important information given. So if I see in the diagram below, so I must check there is a diagram there. So I must analyze that diagram clearly. P is the point where it's 6 and k. The coordinates are 6 and k. So it tells me that if I complete the triangle, my x coordinate is 6, y coordinate, so x length is 6 units. If I make it m, so OM is 6 units, and MP is k units. This is k. Yeah. Point is in the first quadrant. POT, the angle is theta. OT is TU, 2 units given. Okay. It is further given that, so OT is 2 units. So basically, if they are giving me 2 units, they are giving me 2 triangles. So if I break down my 2 triangles, one is P, M, and O. That's 6 unit, that's k unit, and this is theta. And if they are giving me further M, so O, not M, it's T. O, T, N. Let me just make this one is N. This is also theta, that's 90. In short, these 2 triangles, what they have given me, they are my similar triangles. So what I know for similar triangles, the ratio of the similar triangles, their sides is going to be equal. So further they are telling me is root 5 cosine theta equals to root 5 cosine theta minus 2 equals to 0. So if I work that information on my own, says root 5 cosine theta minus 2 equals to 0. If I simplify, it will give me 2 over root 5. So it tells me my adjacent is 2 and my hypotenuse is 5. A over h, the definition of theta. So I think it is related to the second one where my adjacent is 2, hypotenuse is 5. So now my job, before I go for any question, I must find NT using Pythagoras. So if I say use root 5 squared equals to 2 squared plus NT squared. This is 5 minus 5 equals to 4 plus NT squared. So therefore NT squared is equals to 5 minus 4 is 1 and square root both the sides, so it will give me NT equals to 1. It should be plus or minus 1, but we know my length or diagram is in the first quarter, so I'm going to choose as 1. So it is, now I have the answer, NT is 1. Okay, so if I follow the ratio OT from 2 to 6 is times by 3, so my k value will also be times by 3, which will give me my k value is equals to 3. Okay, half and double. Okay, that's what is I have. Okay. Now I think whatever the information was given, I finished reading, I finished interpreting, I finished working out. Now it's time to go and look for the question. Question 5.1, it says theta without the use of calculator. It means those two triangles what I have, I'm going to use them. And 5.1.1, tan theta in terms of k. So k was there in my first triangle. So I'm going to use 5.1.1, the first triangle where the k is. So tan theta, the definition is opposite over adjacent. So it's k over 6. That's it. It's for 1 mark. 5.1.2, I'm looking for value of k. What is my value of k? Solve for k. So that is what I got it from the second triangle. So whatever I have worked now, I'll compile it nicely and put it as my answer. So to find the value of k, we started with a parabola. Definition of cosine theta equals to 2 over root 5. So that was theta. That's that was 2 and root 5. So when I used Pythagoras, I ended up getting the value 1. So this is my starting point for 5.1.2. So once I complete it, then I'm comparing one triangle with the first triangle where my angle is the same, theta. This was given 2 and this is k. So I can say k divided by 6 is equals to 1 divided by 2 times by 6 both the sides. Get rid of denominator. So I'll get k equals to 3. So that's my second answer, 5.1.2. So I'm done for 4 mark. Now 5.2. I'm looking for simplify without the use of calculator. So once again, I am not allowed to use a calculator. Right. So the question is single trigonometric ratio. So they are telling me that when I get my answer, I might get sine theta alone, cosine theta alone, or tan theta. It's a single trigonometric ratio. So it says, right, let's start with sine 90 minus x, tan 180 minus x divided by cosine negative x and sine 180 plus x. So to do the reduction formula, I must have the basic knowledge of my 4 quarters. So there is all is positive. Second quarter sine is positive. Third quarter tan is positive. Fourth quarter cosine is positive. So this is 180, 360 degree, or 0 degree. It's 90 and 270. So if I look at the first one, sine 90 minus x, so go to 90 minus x, it will take me to the first quarter where everything is positive. So 90 minus, or 90 and 270 is giving me cofunctions. So I'll write the sign first and write its cofunction. That gives me 1 mark. Tan 180 minus x. So that is 180 minus x. It means I will end up in the second quarter. Second quarter, my tan is negative. Cosine negative x. Now cosine negative x is taking me the fourth quarter. That's negative theta. So fourth quarter cosine is going to be positive. And 180 plus x for sine is taking me to the third quarter where sine is negative. So it will be my answer. 180 plus x is the third quarter. Sine is negative. Now if I have fractions, whatever I can cancel, I'll cancel. Then this negative and this negative will make my final answer positive. Tan theta, I can write it as sine x or cosine x, and denominator sine x is already there. So final answer of mine is 1 over cosine x. That's 5.2. We're done. Now 5.3, determine the value. So that means if I simplified it, I might get some value, or 2 or 3 or 5 or 1. So they are telling me the function will go away. So first thing I'll say 8 cosine A, cosine 2A. Can use the formula 2 cos squared theta or A minus 1. Replacement 2 cosine cube A minus sine 2A. My formula is, sine 2A. I will replace it with my double angle formula 2 sine A cosine A. So it tells me that if I keep my numerator as it is, for now, denominator something is possible, that is cosine A is going to be common, and that's 2 as well in both. I'll take it out common. 2 cosine A is common. I'll be left with cosine squared A minus sine A. 2 is common, cosine A is common, 2 cos squared A minus sine A. That will be my common. Let me see what I can do here. Cosine A and cosine A will get cancelled. 2 and 8 cancels by 4. So I'll be left with 4 times 2 Let me see first of all what I can do in denominator. I think we have made a mistake in copying the question. Right? So it's not cosine A. It's not cosine A. It was sine A. Right? So let's redo the same question once again. 5.3 8 cosine A cosine 2A divided by 2 cosine cube A minus 2 sine 2A. Check sine 2A and sine A. So method remains the same. 8 is there, cosine A is there, cosine 2A. I can open it as out of 3 formulas. 2 cos squared A minus 1. If I'm not going to use it, I may use it a different formula instead of that. Denominator, I can keep cube A as it is, as sine 2A, and replace with its simultaneous equation or its expanded form. Sine 2A is 2 sine A cosine A. So that's 2 sine A cosine A times sine A. So denominator, I can take it out common. That's 2 is there in both. Cosine A is there in both. So 2 cosine A will be common denominator. So I'll be left with cos squared A minus sine squared A. and that is 8 cosine A. That's 2 cosine squared A minus 1. So 2 and 8 cancels by 4. Cosine A and cosine A get cancelled. Now if I see both of this formula, they are for cosine 2A. I can see it now. So I can bring it back, cosine 2A numerator, cosine 2A in denominator. They will cancel each other, and that's what they were saying, that some value, which I got it from correct. So if you get stuck somewhere there, like we got stuck here, then you must go and check what is wrong. There might be my first step is wrong, or I might have copied the questions wrong. Right? So in this case, it was the question copied wrong. Right? So we are done with 5.3. Now 5.4. It's a general solution. General solution of the question 6 cosine squared x plus sine x minus 5. 6 cosine squared x plus sine x minus 5. Let me go check again once the question. I don't want again the same problem. 6 cosine squared x plus sine x minus 5. Okay, equals to 0. So first observation says it's a squared and sine x. So I might end up with doing a factorization. And so cos squared A I can convert into 1 minus sine squared x plus sine x is as it is, minus 5 is as it is, equals to 0. Then multiplication 1 by 1, 6 minus 6 sine squared x plus sine x minus 5 equals to 0. So this one is my quadratic formula. Negative 6 sine squared x plus sine x plus 1 equals to 0. Divide by negative 1 both the sides, so everywhere. I'll get 6 sine squared x minus sine x minus 1 equals to 0. Here I can do factors, or I can do a quadratic formula. This is my a equals to 6, b equals to minus 1, and c equals to minus 1. Then I'll get the quadratic formula, and I might get the equation values of sine x. Or I can factorize it. Let's check the factors. If I say 6 sine x and sine x, 1 is 1, 1. Okay. 6 times 1 is 6 plus 1. Okay, so that one is might work. Negative 6 sine x plus sine x equals to 1. Okay, so let me recheck again. 6 sine x times sine x is 6 sine squared x. 6 sine x times 1 is minus 6 sine x plus 1 sine x. So it is minus 5 sine x. Okay, so I'm not getting 5 sine x. So there might be something wrong with my factors. So let me recheck. 6 sine x is made up of 3 sine x times 2 sine x, that's sine squared x. Okay. Then factors of 1 is 1 and 1 minus 3 plus 2. Okay, that might work. 3 sine x times 2 sine x, so I'm checking again. It's 6 sine squared x, that's fine. 3 sine x positive, 2 sine x, 3 sine x negative, 2 sine x positive, so negative sine x, correct. And was 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. Okay, so once I get factors, I make sure that I recheck if my factors are correct or not. So the first bracket gives me sin x equals to negative 1/3. Second tells me sin x equals to half. Now it's time to use a calculator. Sin inverse negative 1/3 x equals to sin inverse half. Then if we use a calculator, our answer will be negative 9.47. And if I use sin inverse half, then my answer will be 30 degree. So the second answer there will be two answers for each, 30 and 150 degree plus k times 360. That's the general solution. Plus k times 360. That's the general solution. So where k belongs to z, that's answer for 30. Now two answers for negative 19.47. That's my first answer. Second answer for sine is 180 minus that negative 19.47. Both the time plus k times 360 will be here. Plus k times 360 will be here. So it's 180, 199.47 plus k times 360. Okay. So here the negative 19.47. If I don't want that negative angle, I can add 360 to that negative angle. That will convert it 340 degree. That will convert my answer into positive, which is 340.53 plus k times 360. So those are my general answer for x, general solution. Okay. So that's how the general solution and trigonometric questions are attempted. Hope you will enjoy this video.